Welcome to another video. Alright, this was a game I recently played today. I'm proud of myself. It was my turn, and I found this move, which when I checked it with the computer at the end of the game, that was the best move. Moving the bishop there and pinning this knight to the king. And at this point, what's he going to do? He put me in check. Now, the computer said the best move for me would be to block with the knight. But I just moved my king out of the way because I knew my next move was going to be brutal. And he moved his rook up, but the computer says that he should have actually just put his queen here. And of course, if he did that, I would have just taken it. He moved his rook up, and then I moved my queen in for check. And I knew that the knight could not take because he was pinned by this bishop. So it was checkmate. And I'm proud of myself because these pins, I've made some videos on these pins. It's wonderful when you start catching on how to employ the pin in your game. And this was a great example. When I moved my bishop there, I knew, at least for the next move, this knight could not move. But what I want to talk about now is the time increment. Now, when you want to play a game, this is from the Lichess website. Let's say you wanted to play a bullet game or a blitz game or a rapid game or a classical game. Now, you can easily just click on one of these boxes and pick the game you want, and the computer will match you up with someone else who's looking to play a game. And so let me tell you what some of these mean. Like, let's say you see this right here, 5+3 blitz. 5+3 blitz. That means you've got 5 minutes for the entire game, but every time you make a move, you get 3 extra seconds added to your clock. Okay, look at this rapid one, 10+5. That means you've got 10 minutes to play all your moves, but every time you make a move, you get 5 extra seconds added to your clock. Okay, so more on the increment here. Let's put that in there. Hope you're able to see this. Okay, like I've already explained, let's say you're playing a, it says here, like a 5-5. That would mean 5 minutes to play plus an extra 5 seconds after each move. So an increment is an amount of time added to your clock after each move. Okay. Now, toward the end of the game, it's especially important. Let's say you're playing a game, a rapid game that's got, it's a 10-minute plus 5 seconds increment. Now let's say you've only got, 5 seconds on your clock. Well, if you can make a move, every time you make a move, you get 5 extra seconds added to your clock. So it's really a nice feature at the end of the game. As long as you can make a move within 5 seconds, you're going to be able to make a lot of moves because you get 5 seconds after every move. You get added 5 seconds added to your clock. The average chess game lasts around 40 moves. This means each player makes 40 individual moves, totaling 80 moves for the entire game. That means you're making 40 moves, the opponent's making 40 moves. So the average chess game is 40 moves. Okay, so now if the average game is 40 moves, and let's say you're going to play a 2-minute game of chess, you need to make all of those 40 moves in 2 minutes. Let's say you're playing a 30-minute game of chess. Then you need to make all of those 40 moves in 30 minutes. So, of course, this is the average amount of moves a game lasts. But what I'm saying is just because you're playing a 2-minute game, you're still going to have to make those 40 moves, probably. You're not going to win in 3 moves. And so it's very stressful. If you like the adrenaline, then you can play the quicker games like that. But it's nice to have time to look and say, hey, if I move here, what might he do? He might move there. If I take this, he might take it. He might recapture. You want to have time to do these things. So I recommend the rapid games, 10 minutes plus 5 seconds increment, or longer if you want to be able to relax and enjoy the game. But if you, let's say you don't have a lot of time, you've got 15 minutes, you have to be somewhere, but you want to play a game of chess, then that would be the time to play a blitz game, like a 5-minute plus 3-second increment blitz game. You'll be done in less than 15 minutes, and you can get a chess game done that way. But to always play these fast games, can make you a nervous wreck after a while. So I recommend the longer games. Okay. Now let's go into the blitz game. Now in a 5-minute blitz game with a 3-second increment, you need to make a move every 10 to 15 seconds. This allows for a reasonable amount of calculation while still keeping pace with the clock. As the game progresses and positions become more critical, you can allocate slightly more time per move, but maintain a sense of urgency. Okay. So let me tell you, usually what happens is you learn an opening, and you play that opening over and over and over until you learn many of the variables based on how your opponent reacts. Okay. To the point where what's going to end up happening is your first 10 moves you pretty much know, so you won't have to think much. So let's say you're playing a rapid game 10 minutes with a 5-second increment, and in your first 10 moves you've hardly had to use any time. You're going to have 50 extra seconds added to your clock if you get 5 seconds per move. Well, not exactly 50, but you can see what I mean. You're still going to have 10 minutes on the clock even after 10 moves, because your first 10 moves you've already memorized, you already know what to do. And then later you can use that time, because later in the game you're going to need some more time to think, because you're going to be out of your preparation. Now in a 10-5 rapid chess game, you should try to move every 10 to 20 seconds. Okay, this gives you 10 minutes of base time plus 5 seconds of increment extra added to your clock after every move. Okay, so you want to be moving. Even a 10 plus 5 rapid game is, still a quick game compared to the way chess used to be played when they didn't have clocks. So if you're playing a 10-5 rapid game, you want to be making your move every 10 to 20 seconds. Okay. Now, let me say one more thing about this. Okay, the last thing, and I'll say it again. If you know the average chess game takes about 40 moves, whether you're playing a 2-minute game or a 30-minute game, you're going to have to make all those moves within the time frame. Okay? So just ask yourself, if you have the time, I would say play the longer game. If you don't have the time, don't let the clock pressure you into trying to hurry up and win in some 5-move trick move. It's just not going to happen. You're still going to need to move probably 30 to 50 moves in order to win. You're just going to have to move quick. And that can be quite stressful. You don't want to do that to yourself all day, every day. There are guys who just play the quick bullet games, and they've played like 50,000, and you look at their profile and they're not playing any blitz or rapid games. And I don't know what they're living on, Red Bull or caffeine or what, but I recommend the slower game so you have time to think, and it's more fun. Okay, well, that was my introduction for you regarding the increment, and I wanted to share my success about this particular game here on the screen when I employed the the pin, and I won a game. Hey, thanks for watching. Have a great day.